Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at equations which have fractions on both sides. If you see an equation with multiple fractions, I suggest you convert the fractions to the lowest common denominator. That is the smallest multiple that they have in common. For example, we've got this question here. X plus 2 when divided by 15 is equal to 2 over 3. So the first thing we want to do is look at these denominators. So we've got 15 and 3. And our question should be, what is the smallest number that 15 and 3 both go into when timesing? So let's have a look. If I list all the multiples of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, I list all the multiples of 15, as you can see there as well. What is the smallest number that they both have in common? We can see that it's 15. So, to simplify this whole equation, it'd be really helpful if both fractions were over 15. So, the lowest common denominator of 15 and 3 is 15. So let's try to convert that now. How do I turn 3 into 15? I must times by 5 on the bottom. Now, I want this equation to still be fair, so I need to do the same to the top of the equation as well. So I'm going to times this by 5. This means the whole entire equation is now going to be x plus 2 over 15 equals 10 over 15. Now, I haven't done anything naughty here. I've just rewritten the problem. 10 over 15 is still 2 over 3. It's just written in a different way. It's just like saying 2 out of 4 is the same as a half. We're just writing the fraction a different way. So now that these denominators are the same, something really cool happens. When I times by 15 on the left to get rid of this, I naturally have to times by 15 on the right. So what's going to happen is both denominators are going to cross off. So we completely remove both denominators at the same time by using this method. So all we're left with now is x plus 2 equals 10. And we can probably work that out in our head. 8 plus 2 equals 10. Here's the important thing though. Once the denominators are the same, you can cross off the denominator. So that's our goal. Get the denominators to be the same number and then we can cross them off. Okay, let's get into a trickier example here. So we've got x plus 2 over 8 plus 3 over 4 equals 2 over 3. Don't freak out. We're going to do this step by step. So first of all, let's look at just our denominators here. What is the smallest number that 8, 4, and 3 all go into? So let's list our multiples. And we can see that the smallest number that they all have in common is going to be 24. So the lowest common denominator of 8, 4, and 3 is 24. Now, over time, you'll be able to do this in your head. You won't need to write all the multiples out. This is just a visual way of showing you what's going on. So, if we want to get all these denominators to 24, we need to times the first fraction by 3 on the top and the bottom. This will change it into 3x plus 6 on the top over 24. For the next fraction, to turn 4 into 24, I need to times the bottom and the top by 6. This will end up with 18 over 24. And finally, to turn 3 into 24, I just need to times the bottom and top by 8. So we end up with 16 over 24. Just stop and think for a second. Just make sure you understand. We haven't done anything illegal or tricky or wrong. We're just getting all the denominators to the same number. Now, as I showed you before, to get rid of the denominator, we're going to have to times by what it is. So, if I want to get rid of this divide by 24, I have to times by 24 here, which also means I must times everything over here by 24. So what's going to happen is these denominators are all going to cross out. So we can pretty much just cross off all the denominators in one go. That means all we're left with is 3x plus 6 plus 18 equals 16. We can then simplify that to 3x plus 24, because the 6 and the 18 go together, equals 16. We could then take 24 from both sides, and then finally divide by 3. So our answer was x equals negative 8 over 3. Alright, here's another example. Now, this is interesting because we've got two fractions and a whole number. Here's my suggestion to make your life much easier. Turn any whole number into a fraction. To turn 4 into a fraction, we're just going to write it as 4 over 1, because 4 divided by 1 is the exact same thing. Alrighty, so the question I'm asking myself is, what is the lowest common denominator of 3, 5, and 1? Well, it has to be 15. 15 is the smallest number that 3, 5, and 1 can all go into. So I'm going to take this whole entire fraction, everything in yellow, and I'm going to times it by 5 to make it 15. So times everything you see there by 5 will give me 10x over 15. For the next fraction here, to get that to 15 on the bottom, I have to times everything by 3. So I end up with 33 over 15. And finally, to turn this 4 over 1 into something over 15, I'm going to have to times everything by 15. So I end up with 60 over 15. Now that the denominators are the same number, I can simply just cross off all the denominators in one go. So all I have left over now is 10x plus 33 is 60. I can take 33 from both sides, 10x equals 27, and then finally divide both sides by 10, x equals 27 over 10. Or you could write that as 2 7/10, or you could write it as 2.7. There's lots of ways you can write your answer. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions at all, please let me know in the comments below. Apart from that, hope you have an awesome day.